Alrighty, hello everyone and welcome to License of Fun 2025. Today I will be playing... today I will be playing Kim Possible What's the Switch for the PS2, which is based on the Disney Channel show of the same name, of course. So I'm gonna get into the game and we'll see how things go. So in this game you play as Kim, but you also play as Shigo. They're both very similar to each other. They have the same basic moveset, but they do have a few differences, mainly in terms of the gadgets they use. And whoever we play as depends on where we are in the level. Timing will start after this cutscene ends, so I'll give a heads up of that.
He's in the secret dojo.
Mario fans made it.
Could be the item.
Alright, 3, 2, 1, go! So here's our first level, which is fittingly called What's the Switch? And you're going to see the tutorial. This game has a lot of these tutorials, and I'm going to be trying to skip them whenever possible. So we just got to sit through them. And I'm going to do a little slide jump to get over here, hopefully. We've got a ledge grab, which is not ideal, but could have been worse. So there I was trying to go for a cutscene skip by dive kicking onto the wall to give me a bit of extra height so I can go over the cutscene trigger, but I unfortunately missed it, so yeah. That is unfortunately a pretty big time loss, but it's fine. And we have this cutscene which is unskippable. This teaches us how to use these swinging bars. We don't actually need to use this specific swinging bar, but I'm gonna do this anyway for this run. So in terms of general movement, so you have a long jump, and normally in order to do the long jump you have to do a cartwheel and then you can long jump. But if you do an attack, you can store the long jump, and then you can long jump by pressing the jump button and the cartwheel button at the same time, which is either R1 or L1 depending on what direction you want to go in. So that's useful for general movement, but it's also useful for some skips we'll be seeing later in the game. Like the slide long jumps utilize this technique. Yeah, we have another tutorial. These tutorials are everywhere in the game. Pretty much every level has at least one tutorial. So that's something. My movement's not very good right now. There's going to be a little skip. So as you're going to see from the tutorial, you are supposed to go downwards, but we don't need to go downwards. Oh no. Instead, we're going forwards. I'm going to do a little slide jump up there. Then I can do a wall jump. And because the top of that wall doesn't have any collision, I can just go through it. Yo, Chris is here! Shoutouts to Chris. This run is dedicated to him. So now we're playing a Shigo. Him had a grappling hook, which I didn't really use before, but he has a grappling hook. Shigo does not have a grappling hook, at least not yet. But up and coming is going to be another skip, as well as another one of the exploits the game has. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get on here. Try that again. I'm going to do pause buffering. Whenever you pause and unpause in this game, for whatever reason, it makes you move forwards. It teleports you forwards a little bit. And we can use that to make bigger jumps. And what I did there was I skipped a cutscene, I skipped a tutorial, and I skipped another cutscene and an entire fight, so that saved some time. So I was just skipping a bunch of things there. And there's going to be another skip right next. I mean, right now there's going to be another skip. I'm just going to utilize the same technique. So I'm going to dive kick on this wall. I'm going to pause buffer a bunch. I'm going to double jump. Oh, I missed it. So what I was trying to do is I was trying to go over that cutscene trigger so I could go through the door immediately. But unfortunately I missed it. Really, really unfortunate. You can at least see what I was trying to go for. You'd skip that fight normally, and not only that, but there'd be another skip here. Like, I have to go down here right now, but if I did the skip properly, I wouldn't have to do that. The area wouldn't load properly, and I could just go straight to the end, but since I got unlucky, I have to go down here. Yeah, that's a very unfortunate start to the run, but that's the first level done. What's the switch? This next level is a boss fight, and it's a very short level, and it's very RNG heavy. So as you can see, I have to hit that green ghost, but annoyingly sandwiched in between those red ghosts, which is not great. So I'm gonna have to chase him down. So I'm gonna get him. I'm just gonna hope the next ghost is right next to me, which fortunately he was. That was great. Now I need to get red, which is very far away. Not too good. Now I need blue. Fortunately, blue was right next to me. Couldn't capitalize on that as much as I would have liked, but that's better RNG on this level than I normally get, so that's nice at least. Like, I've had my splits out, which I don't, but if I did, that would probably be a gold, I imagine. So now we're going to the next level, Great Brain Robbery. And we're no longer in some creepy castle in, I'm assuming, Transylvania. We're now in London. You can tell it's London because there's teacups and British flags all over the level, which we will be seeing momentarily as I play through the level. This level has a whole bunch of stuff, which I will try and cover whenever it comes up. But we're starting off with hitting a cutscene. Cutscenes in this game are annoying because they take some time to load, and then you have to wait a bit to skip them, and then you have to wait a little bit more for them to load. Kind of wacky. Yeah, those teacups and British flags. They've been showing up. There's nothing too crazy in this level at the moment. The craziest stuff comes a bit later. Get another tutorial. So I might as well mention this is a PlayStation 2 game. Weirdly, this is a PlayStation 2 exclusive. Like, it wasn't on like GameCube or anything like that. It's kind of odd. But I guess it was coming out in a weird time. Like right at the end of the 6th gen and right before like the Wii and PS3. So I guess that's why they didn't make ports for other consoles. But this game's made by a company that love to put their games on basically anything they could. So I'm definitely surprised they skipped out on other consoles. Yeah, this game's only on PS2. And there's technically a PlayStation Network port, but that's just the PS2 version.
Wade, I'm stuck. I see an elevator above me.
I might as well also mention that this is the NTSC version of the game and not the PAL version. That is actually important because there's a very big skip which only works in this version. And there are other general physics differences and little game differences that benefit NTSC. So the PlayStation Network version of this game was only released in PAL, so I have to play on a real PS2 for this run. Has slower loads than a PS3. So I didn't mention it, but we're playing as Rufus the Mole Rat right now. I'm going to be honest, I do not like these Rufus sections. They just don't work too well. They are very jank. But there are a few things we can do. I can do a little cutscene skip at the end of here, which I'll probably miss. Yeah, I missed it, but if I jump at just the right time, it might be a frame perfect jump. But if I time my jump properly, I could land on that edge and skip that little dance animation you just saw. That's Tim's first section done, so now we're on Shigo's section. We got these little car sections which are kind of auto strollers, but they're kind of not. Like, there are things we can do on some of these to speed them up, but they're very unorthodox, to say the least. Like, they have loading zones, and these car sections are just kind of odd, and there's a lot of weird things that can happen. I'm going to do a little skip here. I'm going to jump off the edge of that car to hit the end trigger early. Yeah, whenever you grab onto a ledge in this game, you can either climb up, you can jump up, or you can do a wall jump. And the wall jump is pretty useful. Like, we've already seen some notable skips using the wall jump. And we have access to it from ledge grabbing, which is neat. We're going to go to another car section now, which also has a few little skips here and there. First I got to take out this guy. Let's get that guy. And I'm going to do a little skip here. I'm going to grab onto this ledge. And then I'm going to wait to wall jump. So this lets me hit this cutscene trigger early. And then I can climb up here. And then what I'm going to do here is I'm going to use pause buffering to give myself a bit of extra distance. And that'll let me finish this section early. I normally have to defeat some enemies, but by doing that I can avoid that. Now we have a bit more Shigo before we go back to Kim. Just go through this section. There's not a lot crazy that goes on here. There is a little skip in this next section. So I can use a pause buffer to get up there. So another thing about pause buffering is in this game is that with certain animations, mainly your dive kick, you can actually gain a little bit of extra height, which is useful in a few places. And that's definitely going to come in handy later. Yeah, here's a little thing you can do. If you jump and use the grappling hook at just the right time, you can get extra height on upwards moving platforms like this. It only works on upwards moving platforms, unfortunately. Otherwise, you don't get more height. It's still a neat little thing that's in the game. And we can hit the triggers for these enemies, and sometimes they'll just fall off early. Kind of funny. Luckily that guy gave me a bit of health, which is definitely helpful. So now we have these armoured henchmen where we can't just punch them like that. We have to either attack them in the air or with a crouch attack, which is either an uppercut or a slide kick. So that is something we have to be wary of whenever we fight those guys. The up and coming is a notable skip. So normally you go down there, but I'm not going down there. I am going up here. I'm going to get on here. I'm going to use long jump storage to make this jump. And then I can go on this platform, then go on this platform, and then go to the end of Kim's section. So normally you go on a couple of elevators, which naturally takes some time, but you can skip those. Saving a good chunk of time. Now we have one more car section with Shigo. I'm going to take this a little bit safe. This can definitely be scary. this last section where you have a million enemies to take out. Unfortunately, there isn't really an easy way to skip them, so I do just have to fight them. I have to wait for this guy to throw this stupid projectile and hit him with a bunch. And then for this last section, I can jump over this, and then long jump over here to hit the end trigger early. We have our next level. This next level doesn't have any big skips. It's just mostly movement optimization.
Sure, but what is it?
It's an EMS.
But there are a few small things here.
All kinds of energy fields.
You rock, Wade.
So, up and coming is this little enemy. So you might have noticed I've been getting new gadgets in every level. In the last level I got gum, and in this level I now have this EMP gun which you need to shoot certain objects. I'm supposed to defeat this enemy to progress, but I can skip that. I can do a slide, and then I can jump here. And then I don't have to defeat the enemy. Here's an example of where you need to use the EMP gun for platforms like this. You just gotta hit him. Oh my goodness. Like, I'm gonna be honest, one of the worst parts about this game are the enemies. They are just so annoying to deal with. Their patterns are inconsistent, and they can just generally be really frustrating to deal with. So that's definitely one of the downsides of this game. Overall, I do think this is a neat game. Got some neat movement, some cool skips. But those enemies are definitely a pain when you're running this game. Gonna hit that button up there. Yeah, I don't even know what I'm supposed to do there. And now he's just bullying me even more, so there's not a lot I can do. You want to go fast, but these enemies just don't let you. They just do loads of whack things that just stop you from getting where you need to go. Yeah, at least I didn't die there. That's good at least. There I got a proxy. Yeah, this game has proxies. You can typically do with high jumps in places. Proxies are useful, and there are a few places where they are needed for some big skip. So definitely do look out for more proxies throughout the run. I couldn't move there. So in this level we have to do a bunch of waiting on these platforms. They have consistent cycles, so wait for them and adapt. Yeah, I'm not really sure what to say about this part of the level. It's just you move around, you wait for platforms. There's not really a lot you can do to speed things up. But we are getting to another section. I didn't land on that platform, but it's fine because I can just do this. Get on it. Now we have to get all the way up there. There is a skip to get up there early, but it's really hard. And it doesn't save a lot of time, so I'm just not going to be doing it. These platforms are not in the best spot right now. Now we do the same section again, but with him. I think this is the only part in the game where that actually happens. Get this annoying guy we have to deal with. And that's the end of this level. So up next is a level which actually has quite a few skips. Evil Air. Like, not only does this level have a few skips, but there's a pretty significant skip which actually skips a couple of sections in this game. We'll get to that when we get to that. So now we're introduced to these guys. They fly around. The game actually has a wacky little glitch where you can walk in air, but it's very distant and we haven't really found a practical setup or use for it yet. Probably won't see it in this run, but it's something that exists. Here, I'm really taking advantage of stored long jumps. So up and coming is going to be a skip, so normally I have to fight a whole bunch of enemies, but I can skip all of that by doing a pretty wacky skip, which we will be seeing up in a moment. But as you see, there are some gates, can't jump over the gates, but there is a way we can get over them. If I get this guy to the wall, I can dive kick on him. I missed it, unfortunately. Not sure if I'll get it. Okay, I got it. So as you saw, I defeated him with a dive kick. Using some wacky collision, I could get a bunch of height and go over the gate. That saves a bunch. And we're going to do that again later in the level. Once we're playing as Shigo again. My movement here went a bit wrong. Oh yeah, Shigo has a grappling hook now. She did not have one earlier, but she has a grappling hook now. The grappling hook is useful to naturally grapple along walls, but we can also use it to get a bit of extra height from wall jumps. Which I've been doing a whole bunch throughout the game, I've just forgotten to mention it until now. So whenever we need a bit of extra height from a wall jump, we can use the grappling hook. We have Kim's section, and this section actually is a pretty big skip. I did not mean to go down here. So, first we're going to play through normally, because they take out those enemies, punch them, with some chewing gum on them, and then attack them. So this is where the next big skip is. So normally you have to fight some enemies, and then you go to another Shigo section, and then a Rufus section. But I'm going to go up here. Can't even wall jump. I'm going to go up here. I'm going to go up here. I'm going to use some pause buffers, get a bit of extra distance. And now I'm in Kim's second section, skipping the Shigo section and the Rufus section. So that is a pretty significant time save in this game. It's a relatively simple skip as well. And it saves a good chunk of time. Gonna wait for this. Yeah, instead of doing like, I think it's 2 Kim sections and 3 Shigo sections and a Rufus section, it's just both Kim sections at once, then 2 Shigo sections. Can't use the gum against these guys annoyingly, so I gotta beat him up like that. So take out this guy, and now we're at the end of Kim's section. And we're going to switch back to Shigo, but we're not going to Shigo's second section, we're going to her third section. Since this is where you would normally go to Shigo's third section. Here there's going to be another fight skip. It's pretty much just like the fight skip I did earlier. I'm going to hit this guy a couple of times to reduce his health, take a hit. To the pause buffer. And I go over the gate. Getting quick movement in this game is tricky. You can definitely mess up the chain long jump. And now we have a mini boss against a helicopter. And there is actually an optional way to fight it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to punch this helicopter, and now I'm going to use my downward slam attack to attack the helicopter. I'm going to get up here, which is useless, but I can demonstrate something else. The helicopter actually exists in 2 places during this phase. Not only in the background, but it's also floating way high up in the air. Kind of funny. So I do a little of a dive there. I might try and go off that better. Yeah, you can see the helicopter's still up there, which is kind of funny. There isn't a way to reach it though, from what I can tell. You just have to wait for it to come back down. I'm going to come back down one more time and I'm going to do this attack. And that's the fight done. So by attacking it in the way I did, I only needed to beat it in 3 phases. Normally it takes 5 phases. But by using those specific attacks, you can cut it down to 3. So now we have, I believe, the longest level in the game, Polar Distress. And this level, it's got a lot of skips, but it's also very annoying. So we start off with a Rufus section. This level has 2 Rufus sections, as if one wasn't already enough. And we can bite these wires. Nothing to note about that. But we can take a lot of damage boost in this Rufus section and the next one. But we only have so much health to do it. So even though there are a lot of theoretical damage boosts, we can't do all of them because we just don't have enough health. Here you only really need 2 pieces of health, although I wasted a piece of health, so that's not great. So this section is going to demonstrate why I don't like Rufus. So you can jump there with your normal jump, and that's optimal. But it's way harder than it has any right to be. And the reason why is because whenever you go close to a ledge with Rufus, you can't jump. Whenever he wants to run off a ledge, you cannot jump. Even when it looks like you definitely should be able to jump. It's extremely whack, and it's very frustrating. And it's one of the reasons I do not like Rufus in this game. It's just so annoying. These levels just don't play that well. But luckily we get to play a Kim section now, and this section has a bunch of little skips you can do.
What I wouldn't give for earmuffs right now.
I did not do that correctly,
What I wouldn't give for earmuffs right now.
but I have plenty of lives, so game overing should not be a concern. Yeah, I do often just tank hits because that's just the best thing to do. Ideally I wouldn't take the hits, but it can be very difficult to avoid the enemies sometimes. Here I'm going to go for a little skip. Normally you have to go in that left section to hit a plat switch. But you can use some pause buffering to avoid all that. That is an extremely frustrating jump because you can't easily make it with just a double jump or a long jump. You often have to wall jump, but the wall jumps when you do a dive kick are inconsistent, like they sometimes just don't work. And I don't know why, it feels random. It's very, very annoying. I want to try and go in between them, but yeah, that just wasn't happening. The easier option is just to go up here. Now we can go through here. Use the MP gun. Use it in the air to avoid going through an animation. Same thing with the bubblegum as well. Okay, I'm going to do a little skip. Again, you're supposed to go through the middle, but you just go up here and hit the end trigger for the section. So now we're switching to Shigo. And this section has a bunch of skips.
If I'd known we're going Arctic, I would have layered.
We have a cutscene here. There is a way to skip this cutscene, but it's pretty hard, and I'm not even sure if it's faster. So, yeah, we just watch the cutscene. Now this enemy is the worst, because he runs away, you can't easily get on him, and then you have that guy. This is a level where the enemies really start to grind your gears, like, they are just insane in this level. So now I have access to the magnet pull, which I need to move some objects, but it can also be used as an attack, and it is a really good attack, so I'm going to be using it against enemies whenever I can. So we can go down here, pull this box, hit that switch, and then we can hit this cutscene. This section in particular really highlights how annoying the enemies can be. Like those monkeys can be an absolute pain. Like, why do they put him there? That's just annoying. But here I'm actually going to do a little skip. This section is normally way longer, but can do some clever platforming to skip a bunch of stuff. So here you're going to see this weird little glitchy cutscene. Like, normally you have to get an elevator to get up in that early tunnel, but because I went through it quickly, I did not have to do that. Here's a little fun little thing you can do in this level. That cutscene trigger extends all the way to the bottom of the level. And you can clip through the floor when you hit it from below. That's funny. Here there's going to be a notable skip, so normally you open up this door, but here I can get a proxy off this thingy, and that takes me to the top of this room. It skips a puzzle you have to do inside the room, so that saves a whole bunch of time doing that. It's nice and easy too, so that's an extra bonus. Here I have to take out a bunch of these monkeys. And get on this door. Now, behind that door is Shigo's second section, and you can very easily clip into it early. But the problem is that it is not loaded properly, so you can't actually progress. I've tried to find a skip to get into Shigo's second section early properly. I've really tried, but The game just doesn't want it to happen. Like, you can get in there, but it doesn't load the section properly. You have to make it over this ginormous gap, which you just can't do, even with the many exploits within this game. Yeah, it's really unfortunate. Oh, I thought I was going to hit the cutscene trigger. Yeah, that's a big time loss. I've got to do this section again while avoiding this bulldozer. So now I can continue as intended. We have another Rufus section. And of course your health doesn't refill, which is very annoying. But what can you do, I guess? There is a little skip you can do here. You can get on that platform to get up there early, but very difficult. And I think it requires taking damage. I'm just gonna wait. That's the easier thing to do. I'm gonna try and go for a skip here. This isn't a skip I normally go for, but might as well do it. I'm supposed to activate another one of those platforms, but by using pause buffering, I can dodge that. Not sure I'm gonna make this. Oh, I could have made that, but unfortunately I choked my pause buffer inputs just a bit too early. It is a very difficult skip though, so not too bad that I missed it. I'm pretty sure I don't do it in the world record either. Can skip activating this platform, again with a lot of pause buffers. But I'd rather not do that if I'm being honest. It's not even that much faster. So now we go back to Shigo. And as you can see, as soon as this loads, I will be right in front of where I was before. So the problem we're getting here early is that all these platforms and these monkey bars don't load. You can't get to the other side of this platform. And it's a super long way, so there's just no feasible way to do it. Even though there are a lot of exploits we can use to get relatively close, but yeah, one of the holy grails in this game would be finding a way to get there to this section early. I forgot to move that box down. Whoop. This is a section which is very hard to not die on. As you can see right now. But there is another skip up and coming. I can use some strategic platforming to get up this place faster than you're supposed to. And here I'm actually going to do another fight skip, so normally you have to fight a lot of monkeys, but you can avoid fighting all the monkeys. I can move this monkey closer to me. Oh no. Yeah, I was trying to get that monkey to clip me through the door, but unfortunately it wouldn't let him do it. I'm going to have to fight these monkeys normally. That's very annoying because that clip definitely looked like it should have worked, but alas. So here we just have to fight a bunch of enemies. Not a lot we can do to avoid this. The other side of the platform's way too far away. We can technically skip fighting this guy, but I don't think it's faster. I'm going to be fighting him anyway. I keep thinking I can go up the edge of that ledge, but unfortunately I can't. Nice little clip game. I guess I keep confusing that other ledge I died at to that ledge right there. We have one more Kim section. There's not a ton to this section. There's a few little skips here and there. It's a relatively short section. Then up here. That's a little skip you can do. Not a big skip, but little thing you can do and it looks cool. And that's the end of this section. So up next is Evil Lair, not to be confused with Evil Air. And this level has one of the biggest skips in the game. So there are normally 3 Kim sections, 3 Shigo sections, and a Rufus section. But we will not be playing all of those sections, because there is a big skip we can do to skip 2 of them.
Kim, I'm picking
So we're starting off with Kim's first section. There's not much to say about this section.
no big. Standard equipment on evil lairs.
There's some movement optimizations we can do, but overall there's nothing major we can really do here. Pretty simple point A to point B affair. Like, I wanted to get on that platform, but the monkey just stopped me. Classic this game's enemies being the worst. We have these searchlights. We do not have to worry about them here. Just go right past them. We use some little proxies here. Didn't quite move through there as I had planned, but it's fine. So here we have Shigo's first section, and this is the section where we're going to be skipping a whole bunch. Now we have this EMP punch, which we can use to destroy generators. That's pretty much the only thing we really need it for the time being. This level has a bunch of these elevators, where you just go down the elevator, and then you have to fight some enemies or dodge some lasers. Not super engaging, but there are a few of these elevators in the level. But luckily we're not going to have to play all of them. That's the first elevator done with. Here I'm going to do a little cutscene skip. There's normally a cutscene and a tutorial here, but we're doing a careful jump. We're doing some careful wall jumping. I can avoid the cutscene trigger and get up here early. But here is where I'm going to be doing a big skip. So normally I have to destroy this generator and that will take me to Kim's next section. But I'm instead going to move this enemy close to this platform. And I messed up the setup. I've not been good at the skip today, unfortunately. I have to set him up again. That should work. So I'm going to put him in place. And then I can run on air here. Now I'm going to carefully jump here. I'm going to get on this little platform here. I'm going to use pause buffers to give myself extra height. Oh, I missed it. I hesitated and missed the pause buffer input. Please make that jump. Gosh darn it. He's just a little bit too close to the platform. Unfortunately, I've just been terrible at the skip today, like worse than I normally am. So... Come on, you annoying thing. Okay, try this again. Hello everyone in chat. Yeah, of course that didn't work. Okay, this could work. Don't mess it up, please. I can't. I cannot do the skip today. I just can't do the skip today. And this guy is just making things so much worse. Like, he is not supposed to be this annoying. Okay, he moved away, so hopefully... Do not mess this up. Oh, I didn't pause enough. Oh. And now he's too close to the blooming generator, because of course he is. Ugh. Still too close. You know, I'm just going to take a death. This is an absolute disaster. Like, I just cannot get the skip today. I got it first try yesterday, more or less, but today it's just been destroying me. Okay, he might be a bit too far away still. No, he's in a good spot. This might not be high enough. Oh my goodness. Oh! No. That still didn't work. Oh, this is awful. Like, the skip is hard, but it shouldn't be this hard. It's just being extra bad today. Maybe this could work, please. I didn't pause enough. The problem is I'm just sweating so much because it's so hot today, and I just can't play this game properly. Oh! This won't work. I already know this won't work. I just don't know why I can't get this today. Well, I already knew that wouldn't work because I missed the input earlier. I apologize. I might be crashing out a bit. It's just going stupidly. Okay, there we go. So you get on here. And then you can get on this platform up here. And now I'm in Shigo's second section early. Not only am I in the section early, but it's not loaded properly, so I can get in this wall. And I can go down here. And I skipped Kim's second section, the Rufus section, and even a bunch of Shigo's second section. That skip saves like 3 minutes if you get it first try, but I messed it up so much that I probably lost time going for it. But yeah, that would save 3 minutes if you actually got it quickly. That is a massive skip in this game. One of the biggest individual skips for sure. So now we're in Kim's third section, and there's not a lot to say about this section. Maybe we start off in an elevator, we have to dodge the lasers.
Well, there's not a whole lot to talk about. Do you mind if I read a few things?
Yeah, sure.
First of all, thank you to Earl Grey for being the host earlier this morning. They have been excellent. My name is Jarek GNC, and I'll be your host for the next couple of hours. Just want to say the License-a-thon 2025 is pleased to be raising money for the Transgender Law Center. The TLC is America's largest transgender civil rights organization dedicated to the liberation and well-being of gender non-conforming people across the United States. So we appreciate anything you can give to support them in this fight. So just want to say good morning. I'll be your host for the next couple hours, and looking forward to this. And this game looks great, by the way. I think chat's definitely said it. The movement looks really fast and tight, so I can I can wholeheartedly agree with that.
Yeah, the move in this game is definitely neat. There are a lot of unintentional ways you can move faster. It is pretty tricky, but definitely satisfying when you get it down. And now we're going to Shigo's third section. That we're done with Kim. And we have another elevator. So gotta dodge more lasers. But the good news is that if I didn't do the skip earlier, there's like, what, 2 or 3 more elevators. So luckily we only have to go through 4 and not like 6 or 7 there normally are. So we just avoid the lasers, we just move around, have a little bit of fun.
Something I notice, and I don't think I've ever seen it in any other video game. Blue lasers. I feel like I typically think of like security lasers in video games as like red or green. Never blue.
Yeah, I guess it is a little bit unorthodox. This game does also have red lasers, but this part is blue lasers.
Oh, okay, here's a question. Are they only blue lasers for Shigo, for the contrast against her green?
No, the thing is that these blue lasers only take away 1 hit, whereas the red lasers are insta-kill. That's the difference.
Okay, that's fair enough. I can see why they color them differently then.
So the thing is that technically there could be a way to get into Shigo's third section early, and that would also skip Kim's third section, but unfortunately just isn't a way to do it in the actual game. At least we haven't found a way yet. That is a theoretical holy grail that exists in this game. Will hopefully be found one day, but I don't know if that day will come. But that's the end of this section, and up and coming next is another RNG boss fight, which is nice and quick.
Okay, Wade. What now?
So he's going to explain
Turn off
how
all the
this works.
switches before the henchmen can turn them on. Otherwise,
Otherwise, what?
I don't have the specifics, but knowing Professor Dementor, something bad.
So I have to hit these green things and make them red. Well, these henchmen are going to come out and ruin my pattern. So I have to go back and hit them. If I'm lucky, I don't have to re-hit any of them, but if I'm unlucky, I obviously have to hit them more. So we have to do that for 3 phases. I use the roll jumps to cancel the animation. Okay, that somehow didn't kill him. It's kind of odd. Those guys normally go out very quickly with a couple of attacks. Please hit this. Okay. I was worried that guy on the top left was going to hit the switch. If you ever wondered what the switch was, I guess we found out. Oh, come on. There, of course, had to be a guy on the other side, so I couldn't get that. Yeah, this is just an RNG fight where you just have to hope that things go fine. Why do they take extra hits in this fight? I never knew that, but now I do. That's an annoying thing about this fight. But it is one of the shorter levels in the game, just RNG dependent. So now we're going to Monkey Sea, a boat level. And this level has some smaller skips. We only use Kim on this level. I think this is the only level where you only use a single character other than the bosses.
What's the damage, Wade?
The freighter was stolen from
Yeah, like in the
Professor
story,
Dementor's company,
Shigo's been
and it's headed
kidnapped,
to
so that's why you
Tokyo.
don't play as
You
her.
gotta stop it, Kim.
Got it, Wade.
Although I will be honest, I'm not super familiar with this game's story,
I just love
but I
this.
do know that's the plot point for this part of the game. There is a little skip I can do here. There's a cutscene up and coming, but I can skip it if I do just the right thing. Although I'm not going to, because I fell down the wrong area. But I can go way up, way higher than you're supposed to, and go over the cutscene trigger. Not a very big skip, but it's a little thing you can do in the game. Here it's just this level's neat because it's mostly movement with some skips here and there. It's a bit laggy though, which is a little bit unfortunate. You can just breeze through this level for the most part. Go in here. Go up here. These red monkeys are pretty interesting. And we're gonna see those red monkeys and their weird antics more later in the game. We can go down here. Make good use of our movement. We have a little enemy fight here. Got to take out all the monkeys. This section's not too bad though. But there is a skip we can do which is kind of annoying. I missed it. But you can get on top of that red box, get a little bit of stuff, but it's very hard. Especially with that monkey in your way. So it's something I typically don't get in runs. And just got up these platforms, we can take advantage of the grappling hook exploit on upwards moving platforms. In this next section, I am going to do a little exploit, which is completely unnecessary, but I want to show it off anyway. Or at least try to. I missed it. I was trying to get a proxy off that monkey to go over this door, but I missed it. Not faster, it's just a little cool little thing you can do. I mean, the run's already dead anyway, so I might as well go for miscellaneous things at times. And that is the end of this level. This is one of the shorter levels in the game.
Kim, the freighter won't stop in time. It's
Not a
gonna
ton to this
crash.
level, but it's one of the neatest because it's mostly based on movement, with a few little skips here and there. Now we're coming up to Monkey Do. We went straight from Monkey See to Monkey Do. Funny developers.
I love when developers have that that sort of mentality. Hey, first of all, the music in this game really slaps. I think I said that almost about every run, but like, I feel like the music in some of these games is really slept on. Because I feel like the Kim Possible one really stays true to the Kim Possible theme as a whole. Like, I really appreciate that when they put in actual effort for the OST for a game that is not going to be as popular standing next to some of the first-party games as well.
Yeah, like, if there's one thing I can say about licensed games, that there are definitely a lot of licensed games which just have soundtracks that go unreasonably hard. Like, even when the game is garbage, which this game is not, but there are, like, terrible licensed games out there which just have banger soundtracks for no reason whatsoever. Yeah, I've done a bunch of little skips throughout that last section, like mainly just avoiding some platforming by doing some carefully placed platforming. So we have another one of these car sections. There is a little skip here which I forgot to do, but you know, we get on this car, just go on the rest of these cars.
So we're in a auto scroller. If there, unless you got something to talk about, Mind if I plug a couple polls and targets?
Sure.
Okay. Just want to let you all know that right now we still have open the Hello Kitty Roller Rescue. You can pick a character. Right now, Hello Kitty is running away, but if you want Bad Zamaru to show up and be the character we play as, be sure to donate and select that as your bowl. Great skip, by the way.
Yeah.
Clipping to the ground, love it. Yeah, be sure when you're donating to select that poll and select the character you would like to see us play as. Make your money go a little bit farther and help impact a little bit of gameplay. So, back to you. Sorry about that.
Yeah, at the end of that car section, you normally have to wait on that car, but by doing a pause buffer jump, I could make it all the way to the end trigger. Looks funny as well because you fall out of bounds. And you also saw earlier how annoying those monkeys can be, like that skip I did where I jumped up that play thingy. Actually, there's a little skip here. I'm going to do a jump here, and I'm going to take an intentional death to hit a checkpoint. So I hit that checkpoint, and that skips me having to fight a bunch of monkeys. I only found that yesterday, and this is literally my first time showing that off online, so yeah, you're all witnessing a brand new skip in this game. Saves like 7 seconds or so, I think. So we're coming up next to him again, and there is going to be a big skip here at the end level, or at least I hope there will be. Of course I could miss it. But at the beginning there's not too much to talk about. It's mainly just good movement once again. Move around all that. But right after this section we're going to get a big skip. Or at least I'm going to attempt a big skip, of course. Not too hard, but it can definitely go wrong if I'm not careful. But this is where the big skip is. So we have this monkey. So I want this monkey to attack me. I get a proxy off him, and I hit the cutscene trigger. So what I was trying to do, I was trying to get a proxy off that monkey to go over the cutscene trigger. And what that does is that takes me into the next Kim section, and it skips these next two Shigo sections, which unfortunately I'm going to have to be doing. That was not a good hit. Yeah, normally you skip these sections, but unfortunately I missed the skips, so we're stuck with them for now. That monkey is going to continue to mess me over. And we're going to go down here. Fight more of these monkeys. And now we're getting on a train, and again, we normally wouldn't be here, but unfortunately, we are going to be here. So if I skip these sections, I'd be saving about 1.5 minutes, but because I didn't get them, I'm losing more time than I would have if I didn't try and do the skip earlier. And because it's been a while since I've done this section, I am forgetting the route as well. I'm pretty sure I need to move that box. Yeah. The magnical range isn't as long as you'd like it to be, so that is definitely an annoying thing you have to consider when you pull the boxes. I want to try and redeem myself, although I need more health. I'm supposed to move the box, but yeah, that's what I was trying to do earlier, but I missed it. I'm guessing I'm just going to have to move the box. So now we're going back to Kim, and if I did the skip properly, I would have already been in this section without doing those Shigo sections, but I'm here now. So this section is mainly just good movement, and the monkey being annoying because you were suboptimal. So we just go through here. When we hit this cutscene, you can technically skip this cutscene, but it's slower. And then we go into the next section. You can technically skip that section trigger, but unfortunately it does not take you to the next game section, so you have to play as Shigo here. Okay, and that is a consequence of having to do the Shigo section. Like, I'd normally have full health there, but because I didn't get the Shigo section skipped, I didn't have full health, so I had to sacrifice a life. So we just go along here. Move along a bunch. Here. And we do still have one more Shigo section after this. But we're going back to Kim for the time being. For one more Kim section. The frustrating enemies strike again. I can do this careful grappling hook jump to get up here early. And I can go along here. And now we're in the last Shigo section of this level. So we go along here. Okay, that was my fault for doing that punch. Here we're supposed to move a box. We can very easily just wall jump up here. And that's the end of this level, and we only have one more level left. We're already past world record, which is a 109 currently. So that level was extremely unfortunate considering that I missed the Shigo section skip. But we're up against the final boss now. This final boss has multiple sections. We're starting off with this Kim platforming section, which does have a few little skips, but before then we have a couple of cutscenes to watch. And we're going to see what must be the most pointless tutorial in existence. The game teaches you how to dive kick, even though we're on the last level of the game, and you've probably been using it a whole bunch by this point in the game. Like, why did they wait until now to teach you about that? I mean, it's absolutely insane.
Did they not expect people to have done that before?
I suppose not. Like, it's crazy. So there's some little skips here. Well, like, we do have to get on this platform. Like, this is normal. But I can avoid waiting for a platform cycle here. I'm supposed to get on that platform. I can hit this laser. Use my iframes to get up here quicker without having to wait for the platform again. And here I'm going to use some pause buffering to get to a different section early. I can go up here. Go down here. And now I have to fight some monkeys. Now these monkeys are very annoying, which shouldn't come as a shock. Like, all the other enemies in this level are annoying, but there's some fun stuff you can do with these monkeys. You can actually proxy off them, which I am going to be using more heavily in the actual boss itself. Take out the monkeys. They can annoy me a bunch. You can actually get out of bounds here, which is kind of funny, but it's not useful. So here we have Shigo's part of the fight, we have a Shigo part and a Kim part. So we're going to start with the Shigo part here.
When the shield's down, you can destroy the mecha monkey's
So I have to defeat a bunch of monkeys. And there are strats I can use to hit this heart faster. So I can just hit them a single time. So now the heart is vulnerable, and you're supposed to go up, you're supposed to wall jump all these things to hit the heart, but there are ways you can skip it. Like here you can use pause buffers to get there early. That was something I only figured out recently. That's useful for that first hit, but the second and third hits I'm going to take a different approach. I'm going to take out these monkeys, of course. Why is he all the way over there? He's not supposed to be that far away. Let's take out the monkeys. So I'm going to get behind him, and I'm going to do a high jump off him, or a long jump off him. And if I'm doing it when I'm in front of him, I can get a big jump. I can use that to hit the heart early. I couldn't do that in the first phase because of a cutscene, but I can do it in this phase because the cutscene is no more. And sometimes the game just targets the wrong monkeys because great game, guys. I'm gonna hit the heart again. And now we're coming to the Kim section, and this is the last section of the game. Once I have beaten the boss, that will be the end of the run. So, timing ends when the game freezes. But I gotta take out this boss first. There's 3 phases. Of course I fight these monkeys just like I did against Hugo. I don't think I can do the skip I wanted to do here. Actually, yes I can wait this guy. So I'm going to do the same exploit I was doing before. I'm going to do a super proxy. And just the idea of a super proxy is that you go for a proxy but use a pause buffer to gain even more height. I unfortunately missed it, so I have to go up the intended way by using these platforms. Supposed to use the grappling hook, but you can very easily get over without the grappling hook. This takes 3 hits. That was the first hit. I just need to do that 3 more times.
Considering the developer's usage of puns, I'm genuinely shocked we didn't have the see no evil, speak no evil, hear no evil poses from the boss. A little bit shocked on that one.
Yeah, maybe they couldn't afford the actor after they got all the other actors from the show. I don't know. Oh, I missed it again. But that is a tricky skip to get because you have to time your pause quite well, and I haven't been getting the timing. So I get this down, and I just need to destroy this one more time, and we'll be coming right up to the end of the run. I think this will be a sub 120. Okay with 118, but I don't think it will be. It is definitely not annoying when the monkeys run out of the way like that. That is definitely not annoying. I'm going to try this one more time. I got it! Okay, I got it. So that's the exploit, and we're coming up to 3, 2, 1, time.
GG's 118.44.
I mean, it was still underestimate, so that's good.
Hey, that's what counts, right?
Yeah, I guess that's what counts. So yeah, that run was a disaster. Like, I missed the skipping Evil Lair a gazillion times, and I didn't get the skip, the one in Monkey Do. that skips the Shigo sections. I unfortunately missed that. But
I always say when you miss a skip or something, it's just so we can listen to the banging OST, admire the art some more, or you know, it gives us more time to raise money for charity.
yes, I suppose that is the case. But yeah, that was the run. And before I go, I want to give a huge shout out to Chris Speedruns in the chat. He was the former world record holder and the current second place runner. He is the entire reason why I'm running this game. Like, I kept joking to him like I was going to find skips in this game and run this game so that he would come back to the game. And even though those were initially jokes, I actually ended up finding skips and running the game and getting world record. And while he hasn't come back yet, I am hopeful that he will one day return. But huge shoutouts to him. He's a big reason why this game managed to grow and why I started running it in the first place. So yeah, massive shoutouts to Chris. And thank you to everyone who's been watching and who has supported the run. And I wish you all good luck for the rest of the marathon. Take care, everybody.
I was going to say, where can people find more of what you do?
Oh yeah, so if you want to watch me more, you can of course follow me on Twitch at SuperSqank, follow me on YouTube at Big Bang Bot. Those are the main places you'll find me, Twitch and YouTube, I guess. So yeah, if you want. And sometimes I will play this game.
That is excellent. Well, everybody hang tight as we're getting ready to prep for Small Army Kobe by Jekarek. So hang tight, and we'll